Good, and I will send it to you when it's recorded.
Merci.
Okay.
Right, so somebody else is just coming into the room now. So Wendy's with us as well. Okay, Daniela, it's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Wow, I'm sorry for the rush of people that's probably coming to you, but it's like been spiraling.
I just put a message on the board, the KeepOlim board, to say that I've done 34 intakes in the last 2 days. Thank you very much. It's been overwhelming.
Wow.
And I just hope and pray that we don't need anybody's services going forward. But if we do, then we have got now a very good team. And Matt is sending us, registering us on BetterHelp's website as also an organisation to contact. So that's really big. That'll be a lot of can't even speak. That will reach a much wider amount.
If I'm being honest though, I would just make sure with BetterHelp, I don't trust every therapist on there, if I'm being completely honest.
They're not going to be therapists. They're going to signpost.
Okay.
I would not touch BetterHelp in any way unless, because I said to Matt, how's it going to be? He says, no, they're just using you as a unit for people to come to. They don't want any therapists. They are personally abysmal.
And then I just talked to people in Argentina that might be contacting you also.
Yes,
that has a group. Okay. It's my parents are from Argentina, so, and I've lived in Miami and Chicago, so it's just, yeah. But we all are just also connected. It's amazing.
Hello, Heidi.
Hi, everyone.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Hannah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Okay.
Fine. Doing okay.
Yeah.
Are we
Susan,
ready to
can
go?
you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you.
Susan?
Okay. So I need also an
Susan?
authorization to share my
I
screen.
can't hear you.
I can hear you.
You see my screen?
I'm going to go out and in.
Okay.
So I will
Wow.
put the
Wow.
PowerPoint
My
on.
God, I thought mine was busy.
I'm sorry?
I thought my homepage was busy.
Well, I slept a little bit less than 3 hours last night, so things are getting a little bit quick because
Yes,
we had to create the task force. We started on Sunday,
Okay.
but we don't start from nowhere because we created the Mental Wellness Society when started COVID. And originally, we created the Mental Wellness Society to help when there was COVID, to prevent MDs to have suicidal ideas or at least burnout. So we were very efficient in that. And then immediately after, that was 3 years ago. And immediately after came the war in Ukraine. And we were able to get our group together. And in a week, we had 450 volunteers worldwide. And we were able to help in Ukraine. But then what do we do when we help in Ukraine? Because we started to have people who speak in Ukrainian. We made video in Ukrainian because we could not do in Russian because that would be offensive. So we had to adapt to that type of problem. But we realized that we cannot help everybody, that there is practitioners, there is social workers, there is a lot of people there. They know their job, but what they need is support to be able to have clear idea and not get in what we call tunnel vision effect. We'll speak about that in a few minutes. So the idea was to prevent, basically, we help to prevent professionals to enter in tunnel vision effect. It's called vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma is you are in contact with people, you share their misery, and because you are human, you have compassion, and that compassion slowly move into something which is pity or feeling what they feel. So we realized that we needed to do something, and that's what we did. So today we will be seeing at a certain high altitude how a metacognitive positive psychology approach plus resonance therapeutic in mental wellness and well-being resilience in Israel in the midst of horrifying circumstance. And that's really the subject of today. How can we remain positive? Metacognition is to know about knowing. So it's about the process of thinking. And the process of thinking is definitely a field of science, which is very interesting because emotion gets in the way, but still people are supposed to think. Suppose, because on 47,000 decisions a day, how many, any one of us remember we made a decision? So those decisions are made by automatism, and they are made by a part of our brain, which is called the old brain, because we have two parts of brain. We have the old brain and the new brain. The old brain is a mammalian system, flight, fight, freeze. The new brain is including prefrontal cortex, but the prefrontal cortex is where we make judgment, decision, plan. And when you cannot engage in the prefrontal cortex, which is a reaction, when you have a reaction, what you do, your life, is driven by your reaction and not by your choice. There are choices made by emotion. You are compelled to do something, but it's not done by reasoning. So our job is to help people to realize that we are mammalian, but we have an advantage not to be able, not to react in a primal way, but to react in a way using our intelligence. And that seems easy to say, not easy to do. So let me give you a little bit of historical behind that. I have a PhD in physiology, a PhD in psychology, and I was a CEO at Carnegie Mellon Research Institute, where I was involved in charge of human factor and safety research. We got $18 million to study in 3 years and explain how we can help people to be safer for themselves. And that applied to everything we see here. So basically, we develop a bioergonomic safety theory where when people get out of their comfort zone, they are in danger. And they are in flight, fight, freeze, and they enter in danger. So the four main things that we learn from that is that A, you end up where you look. So if you look at the problem, you end up in the problem. And if you look at a solution, you end up in a solution. And this is a solution of everything which is based on what we will be talking to you, called mindful choice, by focusing on a positive outcome. And if you focus on it, another day when we have time, I will show you that on black ice, we can help a 18-wheeler truck to stay safe despite obstacles that we are putting in the way, because we teach them to look at a safe area to go. What prevents to do that is a physiological response to stress called tunnel vision effect. And it closes the eyelid this way and this way. So we only see here, and we don't see what is here. And that's illustrated by here. If you have your, this is the imagination, first row. The second row is the cognitive field of vision. You see, it's bigger than the third one, which is the perceptual field of vision. But when you enter in TVE, you only see that part. That's it. And that's why you are in danger, because you don't see the solution, you lock on the problem. And that's what we need to teach people. And that's what we teach people in trauma, and that's what we do in coaching, that's what we use in corporation, in everything we are involved. So now if you do what we train you, then you see that this would be the tunnel vision effect, and you have an intact perceptual field of vision, an intact cognitive field of vision, and all your imagination. In fact, imagination is what will help us to take a patient which have a problem and to heal him, because we will use imagination, but we will make new neuronal connection in area of the brain which have not been used by using a binary system, which is I am outside, I am inside. I am happy, I'm not happy. Life is binary. You live or you die. And a human cannot think about more than one choice out of two possibilities. If we try to introduce three, we create a flight, freeze. And then you don't have the cognition. So you will tell me, so everybody, all of us, we are either flight, either fight, either freeze. And we need to learn to not react only on one. If I am flight, I'm fight. I need to learn to master my emotion, control my impulsion, my impulse, and I need to not enter in a fight mode. But we have three levels of mental processing. The level one is what you learn in all your life. You are a kid, you learn how your father drives, you drive the same way. This is all what you learn during life. It's nurture. But it takes years, months, weeks, days, hours. So a long scale. And it's where you can learn things. And you learn them, assimilate them, and reproduce them when you sleep. That's why when you are under stress and you don't sleep well, you don't perform well, because you don't acquire the possibility to change. The level two is few minutes. It's like when you park your car, but you look at proximity of yourself. On the level three, which is the most interesting one, is in fact, the millisecond. And we have a scientific model here. From the perception to the action, it takes 540 milliseconds, basically half a second. To give you an idea of what is half a second, it's very simple. It took me half a second to put my hands together and clap. Very short. But in that half a second, you can only have one thought at the time. You can have another one after. But without entering in the model, what I'm trying to tell you is flight, freeze, it's at the level 3. And at level 1, I can change. I can be patient on this, not patient on that. Okay, that's what you can do with practicing. But you change the behavior, you learn not to act on reaction at the level 1. and you help people to be calm, and you help people to breathe, and you teach people in a binary way what is a good choice, what is a bad choice. Now, any one of you knows what is a good choice or a bad choice? Tell me what you think. Anybody? Your mic works?
Yes, our mics will.
I cannot hear you.
My what? Can you hear me?
Difficult, but go on. What is a good choice?
Right, can you hear now? Is that better?
I'm sorry?
Is that better? I'm curious to know if my microphone is working because everybody else can hear me.
I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you very well.
Now it's good.
Oh,
So,
sorry, no, I was just wondering if my microphone was working, that was all.
what is a good choice? What is a bad choice? Anybody? Okay, give you the answer. A good choice is what brings you quicker, faster to your destination. A bad choice is what takes you further away in time and distance of your destination. Once you have that concept, you can see that things are binary, and we teach people a binary thinking because it's very quick to think in a binary way. And when we teach that, the people don't question or hesitate. That's what we want to avoid. By the way, as we are in Israel, and some of us are involved in practicing the religion, it's something very interesting. Doubt is Yetzer Hara. And when you have doubt, it's what helps you to feel negative and down. And it's a negative force. That does not help you. Choice helps you. But there is a process for choice. So continuing with that, we created.
Could you repeat that?
Sorry?
Could you please repeat that, what you just said?
I said doubt. When people doubt, have self-doubt, doubt about this, doubt about that. Doubt is fueled by what we call Yetzer Hara. So that's why it's not too useful. So, because we're talking about choice and decision making. And if you doubt, you don't choose and make a decision. Okay. So we created the Mental Wellness Society. We have a research and validation group, health and wellness professional, agent of change is for corporation, education, parenting, and psychology, coaching, social workers. 3 years later, today, we have 11,000 members. But if you take LinkedIn, we have 150,000 people every 2 weeks coming to visit what we have. We have 893 new members in 2 weeks. 800 posts in 2 weeks by our member on 300,016, meaning over 600,000 views per month. And this is because we carve a niche for ourselves only on positive psychology and resilience. So that's what we do. So some of my colleagues, we have many colleagues, and many of them in Israel, we're in 73 countries, but altogether, we are now 11,000, but we grow at basically 800 a month at this point. So we created a task force in Ukraine. We made video in Ukrainian, how to sleep in difficult time, how to sleep when you are in a shelter. We have a lot of different programs, including how to eat, what should you eat or not eat, how making webinar for crisis worker and mothers, on making resource for resilience. But the key of what we have done in cooperation with Ukraine Psychological Association, we trained 1,500 psychologists in Ukraine. And we train them to that method. And what we are doing now in Israel is using what we have learned from our task force in Ukraine. What we have learned is the following. For the professional, getting training, getting webinar, getting workshop, speaking with colleagues is absolutely necessary. We also learned from Ukraine that the book of Dr. Frankl is something where there was a shelter and they will go to the shelter. I'm talking about people in Ukraine. They will use a book of Dr. Frankl wrote from his experience in a concentration camp, saying that the circumstance will not change who he is. And that's a piece of the puzzle. Not to let the circumstance make you forget who you are and what you do. So our company, we have an organization called Mind Focus Coaching. We help people to focus. We have books. We have online system. We have, I'm not trying to sell you anything because everything we have is made for free to help in Israel. But we have also analytic system where we know what very quickly what the people have as a precondition. But speaking with a client, they told me, Dr. Meyer, when I am with you in your clinic, I feel good. But half an hour later, I don't remember what you told me. Well, we give you the recording of the meeting. I give you exercise to do in between. And in between session. And they say, yeah, but not the same. So we research and we have found that words is not a good way of communication. And we needed to develop a system which is an iconic communication, visual, and also when we speak with them. But we have created 80 cards. I will show you, for example, an interesting one. And that's a good one which works with today. Your past does not condition your future. You can change, you can decide to change. Each card is an icon, meaning it's not a design. It represents, it has taken a lot of work, but it represents something that in every language we can understand, a situation. And if people think with a card, then they can automatically find a way to reason, and it helps them in situation of difficulty to have a beacon of sanity. For example, this one is to not focus on the problem, but on the solution. And when people are under stress, they do the reverse. We started to speak about that. So all those cards are here. There is 90 cards now. And an interesting one, for example, that we have with a client is those two. External locus of control or internal locus of control. We discovered when COVID came that a PTSD post-COVID is all over the world because the people who were executive making decisions shifted without realizing from internal locus of control to external locus of control. Anybody needs an explanation between internal and external? No? Okay. So all those cards are helping people to navigate, but those cards, in fact, are in 8 categories. We have the foundation. Don't ask why. Why is the blame game? ask what, and what immediately change your practice. All the people we train have seen that learning this tool have changed totally their practice. What do you feel? What do you think when you feel that? What was the condition when that happened? But what gives you data? Why give you a blame game? It's not my fault. I had no choice. I don't know. The second one is to think in a positive way. On positive thinking, for one reason, the strongest prison you cannot escape is in your head. So this is negative. I have been privileged in America. I was serving as a jail rabbi, going to high security prison. And it was very interesting how I was able to deal with my clients there, teaching them that you are in prison physically, yes, but your mind, nobody can stop you to put your mind to where you want to feel you could be. And it works very well, but you need to work in a positive way. The second one is the destination. You end up where you like, where you go, where you look. You need to focus. Backward design. Backward design is an important one. In psychology, the psychology you learn, you start by perception and you finish at action or behavior. And you go from left to right, correct, from left to right. In fact, this is not accurate. And you have two systems in parallel. You have the attentional system, and you have the processing from perception to action. And in fact, we have seen that if you have something which disturbs you in the head, in the mind, an unhappy thought, you will have an unhappy feeling and an unhappy behavior. So how do you change? Because you only know to have a throughput from left to right. Well, our method is backward design. We look at the destination. We look at the outcome we want to achieve. All our clients have problems, but we don't start. The first day, we need to know what is their problem. We need to have an evaluation and understand what we can do with them. Yeah, sure. But what we can do with them is not to solution their problem, but to bring them to a solution where they don't have a problem. And it's it's backward design, and it's what we call left to right, like the way we write in Hebrew. And we created an attitude between the intellect and the feeling, because the way you learn is intellect, feeling, behavior. By creating that attitude, which is different tool I am talking about with you, a positive attitude will change a negative thought. And that's the attitude that we create. So we create a mindful choice attitude. Then the next set of cards, choice and decision making. They are binary, and we teach people that choice are binary. For example, to let go, if you see here, it's a monkey, and he have a hand in a jar with a banana. That's the way they catch monkey in Africa. They put a banana in the jar, and the monkey holds the banana and cannot get out of the jar. You need to let go the banana. And what we do with our client is we tell them what is your banana. And then we teach them that they have a choice not to be prisoner of their habits. The choice is binary. And in fact, we teach people to have a red door or a green door. The red door is where you see a problem. Even before somebody, when you speak with somebody, and you smell the argument coming. you see it on the face, because the reaction to read the face is 180 milliseconds. But what happened then is that reaction that you read on the face is automatically creating your own reaction. You need to be able to think, and that is 180 milliseconds. You need to be able to think, and to do that, you breathe, you think, and you see an alternative. Alternative is important, because if you only see one possibility, it means you are dysfunctional. There is always two possibilities for everything. And if you only see one, you are dysfunctional. You are depressed, you are anxious, you have a PTSD, whatever you want. But you are not functioning normally. Our role is to help people to see an option, and to the negative things that they come naturally when they come to you, your clients. They have a great skill to make you a list of negative things. You need to divide them one by one and just speak about, okay, what is the alternative of that? And that's what we teach them. So that's why the first question in this moment of war is to ask a patient, what will you do when the war is over? It automatically brings them to a positive feeling because the war is over. It automatically brings them in a positive way. And I'm giving you one example of the system, but it's one of the examples. On me, I don't have two coach or therapist or educator using the card the same way. Everybody uses the cards in a different way for himself. The number 4 is the brain, the mind, and the thinking. That's the metacognitive part, to know how you think, your mind, your brain, difference between mind and brain. Emotion are in the brain. Feeling are in the mind. So when you know that there is a difference between emotion and feeling, you are in a possibility to explain to the client, an emotion is too quick. An emotion is 180 milliseconds. It's hardwired in the brain. Cannot change it. But we can teach them not to not choose to act on that emotion, and to be an Homo sapiens, to think instead of reactive as a mammalian, not to have a primal reaction. Then we learn about time, because time is very important. It's everything in our life. And if you put too many things in the same time frame, you will have multitasking, you will create stress. So you need to learn how to give time, manage time, understand time. You don't stop time, you don't manage time. We don't choose how long will be the war. We don't have any possibility to do anything on time. And if we try to fight time, we stress, we depress. Then come emotion, feeling, reactivity, impulse, attention, motivation. There are some cards, and a very important one, is the difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is a fear of something physical coming to you. Many people have fear at this moment. It's totally normal. But more people have anxiety at this moment. And the anxiety is a fear of something which could happen, which is virtual. And the fear is what destroys all our clients. Anxiety is what destroys all our clients. So that's where we need to work. Anxiety would be in that card. He's swimming in a lake, and he's saying, what if a shark is after me? That's anxiety. There is no shark in a lake. So that's a good image. So also, we give primacy to the intellect over the emotion. And we teach people to control their emotion, to have an impulse control, and also to prevent an impulsivity bypass. Impulsivity bypass is when I get a beginning of a thought and I have already the action. And by the way, scientifically, we can measure the time of reaction of people, and we know if they are inattentive or if they are impulsive. You don't remedy the same way impulsivity and inattention. Two different things. And then we have processes, things which are together. For example, a process, you start at the beginning, you go at the end. And the process is there is a process to think, there is a process to act, there is a process in life to move and to develop internal locus of control, which will help you to survive all those things. And then you have holistic mind and body, because you need to sleep, you need to eat well, you need to do some physical activity, you need to have time with your friends, you need to breathe, you need to sleep. But we have seen that all those technologies, all those even very advanced methods that we can have, all are limited. Because when somebody is in an acute situation, he needs something else to change how the brain is thinking. And we do that through something that you have in front of you, which is here. It's resonance therapeutic. And it's binaural, meaning we change the intensity between the left ear and right ear, and it creates the person to get in alpha zone, alpha wave. An alpha wave is what you relax, you are more peaceful. So, but it's not just the people have stress, and that was demonstrated when COVID came, with the PTSD of COVID, which still exists worldwide. It's something called VUCA. We live in a VUCA world. The V stands for volatility. The U stands for uncertainty. The C stands for complexity and ambiguity. And now we have also hyperconnectivity. People are spending their time on their telephone to look at horrific things, and it's destabilized. We are in a VUCA world, and that applies to the war in Israel. The situation is volatile, uncertain. We don't know when and what will happen. Complex, because we know that Russia have helped Iran to create a second front, so Russia can now attack Ukraine and other countries. Ambiguity, it's very ambiguous. We want to help people. We want to help humans, but I need to make a choice and help people in Israel first, or one country at the time, but Israel. So we are with the task force for Israel. And hyperconnectivity is, you know, that people, young people, don't think. They look TikTok, they look this. By the way, TikTok, good question, does not exist, is not allowed in China. Huh? What? Why? Why? What makes that China don't want TikTok? Because TikTok pollutes mind. TikTok is a Trojan horse to destroy sanity of the people outside China. And the Chinese, a short term for them is 50 years. The American, a long term now is a quarter. So you see that the difference of time, now we are talking about time. So this works very well. We validated it scientifically between University Medical Center of Havana and University of Haifa. And we have been able to demonstrate that it works for anxiety, PTSD, obsession, panic, toxic stress, burnout. And we do 20 minutes every other day, and it works very well. There is complete study if you go on our website. But it does not heal. It's like a pill. You take a pill, it takes out headache. You stop the pill, headache come back. So that is where we do the psychological intervention when the person is not in an acute state, and we help them not to put themselves in the same stressful situation. So we use both together. And in what we do, we stack together different methods, including we do seminars all over the world at the same time for Feldenkrais, Feldenkrais awareness movement. And with this technique, plus the cards that we are doing, we have been able to heal people with unbelievable conditions very quick. Because we have different, we enter by the chimney, we enter by the window and by the door, on the cellar at the same time. And that brings quick result. Without the board, you can see somebody which is on the right side. It's somebody with stress, have a problem, and you see that the prefrontal cortex is not ignited. But if you do the board, the person becomes resilient. And now you see on the fMRI that, yes, he has activity, he sleeps better, he functions better. So we went further, and we have been validating more technology that we validate. If it's not validated scientifically, we don't talk about it. There is too many things on the market where placebo effect might be healing people. But we are talking about evidence-based way. So this system here, the second system, which should be somewhere on my desk, is in fact also vibration, but higher frequency, and it takes out headache, menstrual pain, and stress. And we are testing, validating more function. But definitely, there is in therapeutic, we are having a new wave of resonance therapeutic revolution, and it's really helped. And that's progress on technology. So our task force is raising money to buy many of those things and make them available to practitioners in Israel for free. The first center will be in Bet Shemesh, and then there will be other centers, but we are raising money in America so we can bring them that. A request, if you know anybody coming from America to Israel, or when the plane will be accessible again, we have those type of items which are 200 grams, so very light, that we need to bring for practitioner and from the army, because this can prevent PTSD. And also on the study we had, it's not yet validated, but it helps to reduce idealization of suicide. Now, this protocol is not validated for depression. Depression is something totally different than the one I show you, stress, anxiety, and so on, totally different. But for depression, we think it seems to work 30 minutes every day. And actually, we have found with some patients here in Israel that to do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening before going to bed, helps them to sleep. But, I'm sorry? Question? No? Okay. So, we have been doing seminars because we have found that and that was before the war, and we developed in Israel, because there is many pregnant women with many kids with very high level of anxiety, that anxiety for pregnant women have toxic consequences on the fetus, 5 generations down. So we help to reduce anxiety first And now that's what we are extending to family of soldiers, parents, wife, family of soldiers. But that's a priority because we don't have enough equipment. When we get more, we'll make it to more people. We do semi-webinar on how to adapt and thrive in time of crisis. And everything I show you is also on a library where everybody can have access, including those seminars, 7 seminars of 1 hour, each one segmented per subject, 10 minutes by 10 minutes. We have books making available. Field care is to prevent tunnel vision effect and vicarious trauma from first responder and people in contact with. We developed that book for healthcare professionals. You can download it. We have positive change for mental wellness. Very nice post. You can repost. You put your name if you want, but it's to help people to think in a positive way. Stress and tunnel vision effect, video, many people don't know. Breathing, proper breathing. Proper breathing is you breathe by the nose, exhale by the mouth, and you want to put your hand on the lower abdomen to go up. Because when you do that, it pushes on the plexus. The plexus push on the diaphragm. The diaphragm push on the vagal nerve. The vagal nerve control your brain, your glandular system, your parasympathetic system, your lung, your heart, and your bloodstream. So by doing that, we can calm a person. And that's why our method is holistic, because we do mind and body at the same time. So, because it boils down to hormones. Hormones influence your emotion. This is anxiety, this is depression. This is love. So your thought, which is a fraction of a second, will trigger an hormonal discharge. And what we teach people is not to enter in an impulsive reaction, which triggers those hormones by breathing and by thinking about the icons they can use in that situation. At this moment, we issue list of guidance that we have made in Israel in, for now, 4 languages, but we'll do more. So you need to balance new consumption. You need to limit the intake. You need to avoid a false sense of control. You need to leave some energy for essential self-care, to sleep. You need to cope with guilt. There is 2 guilt, the survivor guilt, the professional guilt. I cannot help enough clients. I cannot help this one. I need more. I don't have enough time in the day. And also the client, not talking about guilt, but talking about coping, needs to learn to basically, they need to learn to have grief, because the grief process is necessary to say, I lost my freedom, I lost this, I lost whatever. But you need to learn to grieve and consider you are human. And you are human and you need to deal as a human. But it does not mean that you are weak. You need to do mindful information intake. You need to know when to close your phone when there is things. Because if, and that's what we are demonstrating now scientifically, I can change your behavior by showing you a positive imaging. Imagine how negative imaging can change not just your behavior, but your mental sanity and health. And this, the war of those barbaric people, they don't care if they don't kill yet all the Jews. But they want to make sure that all the Jews live in terror and cannot sleep. And that's what we need to avoid. That's where the battle is. And we need to establish routine, because despite chaos, the normalcy is creating something, a sense. And when you have a routine, you have a choice. And if you have a choice, you feel good. That's when you don't have choice, you don't feel good. You need to make refreshing activities, whatever it is, walking the dog, doing the flower. It's called POD. P-O-D. Personal time, time with others, downtime for yourself. POD is a way to keep your mental sanity. And many of us forget about it, which include also to sit better, to walk around every 10 minutes, to change the gaze of your look on your computer. That's mind and body. And we have course for that on the website, free. You need to connect with others. The connection with others help, because you are not alone and you can communicate, and the connection with others is paramount. In fact, many people isolate themselves in that situation. You need to do an act of kindness, because helping others help you. I have a schizophrenic patient, and she said, I'm afraid. She said, I don't know what to do. I said, you know what to do? You help other people. What do I do? Well, can you translate some documents for us in Hebrew? Yes. So she translates. She said, I feel good. I have done something today. I say, okay, continue. Circulate it to your friends. She circulated. She received 50 WhatsApp saying, thank you so much for sending me that. Now she feels good. And she's happy because she feels good, useful, part of society. When she had a stigma of her condition. And if you think about something good, you do something good, you feel good. That's adrenaline, and you are positive. Mindful sharing, you need to avoid creating posts that include trauma, and we need to be very careful, particularly with children. Listening, we need to listen and support. We need to be careful of vicarious trauma for professionals. When you don't see, it's very simple. When you don't see another choice, you are in TV, and you don't feel, and you don't know you're in TV. Then you need to breathe, and there is some technique for that. You need to focus on the future, because the future is positive. I had a client, I asked him, what is your destination? We work a lot on the destination. He told me, it's a box of wood with nails on the top of the coffin. He tried to commit suicide before coming to consult with me. I've seen 3 psychiatric doctors before me. 6 weeks, he was fine, because he have learned he had a choice. And everything we do is based on the choice theory. And you can change your choice. Avoid tunnel vision effect. Avoid tunnel vision effect. This is very important. We need to navigate in this trying time, prioritize mental well-being. Mental well-being is more than mental health, more than mental wellness, because we want to develop resilience in building practice. Resilience. And resilience is not to resist. Resilience is to adapt. And to adapt, you need to use your cognitive system. You need to use your intelligence to adapt. You need to allow yourself to be human, and you need to remember we are in this together, and healing is a collective journey. We have 50 researchers in 15 countries working with us, with University of Tel Aviv, and I'm the chair of validation of all the new technology indicated you to prevent VUCA. And we are working on it, and they, since the war in Israel, have proposed to work with us and validate what we do and demonstrate that the model we do have an utility to be used in other places when the war comes. And the idea is to show that in Israel, we use technology-based protocol, because on that have a great, in fact, effect on impact. Contact us, Mental Wellness Society, Help Israel, mentalwellnesssociety.com, and this is my WhatsApp. If you go to our website, which I encourage you, it will be update 5 times a day. You go to join here and support. We have donate, volunteer, or consult. If you consult, you have resource for resilience, and you go there, and we don't have enough time to speak about that. So, any question?
I want to ask you if you're offering trainings also.
Yes, free.
Like not just like the things that you have on the website, but like, you know, like you showed this machine that you use with sound and everything. Like how do we learn, or where do we learn to do this?
Well,
like...
number one, we will be doing a meet with the experts in English every day from Sunday to Thursday, another hour in Spanish, another hour in Hebrew, and we will have people which are certified on knowledgeable, who are part of the task force, which will share the knowledge with people all over the world. And we have also, we are developing a system of WhatsApp, where we develop WhatsApp where one person in a country speaking Spanish will help one person in Israel speaking Spanish. Actually, we came today with a very good idea. Why don't we encourage people to each one adopt a soldier? We have enough people in Israel to adopt a soldier, to make sure they have what they need, to help sure that we facilitate. And we have people all over the world ready to help. We have over 10,000 members, and more are joining. So we are making also the training available. We will be making this available to the people who are trained free. And we are doing everything we can to help the most people can be treated, and the most professional know how to address time of war. Because many of our colleagues are good psychologists. They use EMDR, CBT, whatnot. But they are not trained of what to do in time of war. And they are human. And when they are at risk, the population is at risk. And we need to help them. So that's why we will concentrate first on the professional, but we are starting to open center with the equipment and with the method. We are starting in Bet Shemesh, and we will roll it out in Israel, where we will be treating people, priority, pregnant women, wife who have an husband or mother or a parent on the front, family people on the front, people with a pre-condition, obviously, anxious people, people who are bipolar, and so on. They need to be helped, and we help them. But when we deal with somebody, we start to think two things. Obviously, when they have a problem, they are already in external locus of control. We need to help them to come back in internal locus of control. They are in a flight, fight, freeze. They are in tunnel vision effect. They don't sleep. They create negative hormones. We need to help them to break that cycle, and we have method for that. but we are ready to share. We are also open to get suggestion. We don't pretend to know everything. We learn. I know that when I teach, more than I teach, I learn.
Mm-hmm. And I want to ask you, are you also seeing clients from KeepOlim or not?
I'm sorry?
Are you also seeing clients from KeepOlim, like taking clients from KeepOlim?
Me?
Or not? Yeah.
No, I don't have the time. I am managing 10,000 people. But I have been doing one person who was French, and it was not the best experience actually, because she was really complaining about the whole world, and she needed to go to the hospital, but she refused. So there was no point to continue on that. And that is also something else. We need to know when we can do something and when we cannot. Everything we do is free. And even that person, well, I took that person for free. It's free because, and we do have volunteers which are volunteering for free. And we are a very unique organization because all other organizations, and I don't think KeepOlim is that way, but they are charging 10 or 20% for overheads, for the administration, for the executive, for whatever. We don't. Many organizations, they are getting salary for employee who works 8 to 5, and that's it, and don't go over the code of duty. We want people who are motivated, who go again above the code of duty. On the same way, we want to train you. We want you to become a volunteer for what we teach, what we say, what we do. And that's a two-way street. We help you, you help us to help others. And that's the way we work.
Okay.
Can I ask you, Abraham, how do you afford?
Can you speak?
How do you afford to supply this amount of free therapy? What do your...
Well, I will tell you something very interesting. And as unbelievable it could be, for the 3 past years, going from 0 members to 11,000 members, my partner and I, we finance and kept develop the organization thanks to all the experts and volunteers who came to join us. We are trading knowledge.
Right.
And that is the way we grow. And we are trading influence. And some people are very good in social networks. Some people are very good, but we have our own employee. We have a team of 3 people in Philippines. We have 4 people in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's people who are working because we have activities and we can pay them to do that. But now, with the emergency in Israel, it's too big for my partner and myself. We are starting with the first $18,000 donation to buy all those inventory available this month, and then we do another campaign to get more of them. But we are getting them at cost price. And we are getting also some other donation for free to help Israel. And that's what we do. We have, because when you are what we are, we can validate and we can help new technology to be known and validated, and then that helps them to grow and do business.
Okay.
And they help us by giving us equipment. Okay? Money is not the problem. And honestly speaking, when we did Ukraine, many people wanted to give us money, and we told them to help the psychologists in Ukraine directly, and we opened an account for them. But now we need to do it in Israel to buy the equipment. Actually, we do it in America to buy equipment in America. But Chabad is giving us one big office where we will be able to treat and help people in the community. Free office. They help us to get volunteers to help us. We have been in that business for several years. That's what we do. We rally individuals to help other people. That's what we do. That's why it's called the Mental Wellness Society. We have people joining for mental wellness, which is not, again, mental health. Mental health repair, mental wellness prevent. So that's not the same paradigm. We work on prevention.
Okay, right, I get you. So you're looking at the preventative aspects of when
I cannot hear you.
You're working on the preventative aspects of when before something sets in. So in other words,
No. We are developing prevention on when we help a client to prevent, to have again the same problem. Because a client come to us in psychology practice, what can I do for you today? I'm suffering, you have no idea, my problem I don't know, I need help me to not suffer anymore. I'm not helping him to do that because he will do it again. I need to help him not to think the way he was doing, which are bringing in the first place to be like that. And that's what we do. It's not the same paradigm. I try, another day we can speak about that. It's a left to right instead of right to left. We don't look at the problem. We don't fix the problem, but the problem is resolved by itself by focusing on the solution.
Yeah, I hear you.
And it's a very new thing, which is different than anything everybody have learned in psychology. But that's what I've been doing for 25 years.
So the course that you're doing to be able to learn to use that machine, at the moment, I would love to do that course, but unfortunately, I haven't got that time available over the next few days because I'm just bombed out.
Well, there is no point to have the course without the machine.
No. So
But the training is 1 hour.
Yeah, I know, but I literally don't have an hour in my life at the moment.
I know, Susan. That's why you need to find other people who can help and do it.
I'm trying.
And that's why we have 3 or 4 or 5 members in Bet Shemesh in Tikva. I would like you to put me in connection with them, and we make a strong group in Bet Shemesh where we show as Tikva how we can use those things, and then we roll it in other places.
You're welcome to reach out to them. There's no problem with you reaching out to those people in Beit Shemesh.
I don't know who they are.
Okay. So maybe I can't give you their names, obviously.
Yeah.
So
name, WhatsApp, I take care of the rest.
Yeah, what you should do is put a message in our group asking if anybody is in Beit Shemesh, please would they text
I did yesterday, no answer, but everybody is busy. Maybe I need to put it 3 times a day because after 1 hour, there is many other messages.
I know normally there's not that much traffic in the group. I think every group is the same at the moment.
But maybe you can post it for me in also the Facebook, your Facebook page.
You're doing this in person. You're not doing it online. It has to be in Bet Shemesh.
No, there is some training we do online. We have been training people online all over the world for the cognitive psychology, for metacognitive psychology. We train people online, yes.
Okay.
But if we want to make it quick and efficient, it's easier to do it here now because online, people are available the time they come for your program. Eventually, they listen to your program and they are taking care of their intakes that they need to finish, all the things, which is called multitasking. So when they are there, they are available, ready to learn and to adapt it. And 1 hour after the program, the people don't even take the time to to revisit it and look at it.
Mhm.
So the course
5 days in Bet Shemesh
I'm sorry?
is going to be 5 days in Bet Shemesh.
No, 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 no.
that's what I was about to
We are
ask.
starting online for everybody to have the type of conversation we have now every day at a certain time. We were thinking 9:30 for English speaking people in Israel, but different members in Tikva said it's too late for me, I'm tired at night. So I'm thinking to move it around, I think we are moving it around 6 o'clock, something like that, which gives time to people in America, in New York, and in other places to join if they want. 6, something like that. What do
And
you
then
think
it
is the
will
best
be-
time? What do you think is the best time to have a meeting?
For me, the best time will be at 9:30, but I know people are saying they're tired. But for me, 9 it's better
Yeah,
because I'm done with everything else.
Yeah.
Usually.
I
So
have clients at 6 o'clock. So for me,
yeah, me too.
6, 7, and 8 for me is prime client time. So for me to do that, it would be difficult.
Well,
I
I
think-
think it will end up with different time, but
I
we
ask
want to have something constant every day, same house,
I get
and
that.
we can have other program more fluctuating.
So after the war, please God, it won't last long. Okay, when we're all after the war, Bizrat Hashem, when it won't, if it doesn't last too long, will you be offering that course in Beit Shemesh in a 1 day or something? Because I come to Beit Shemesh very regularly. I've got children there.
After the war, I can do it in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, wherever you want.
I
We
mean,
have
I
been
get-
doing programs to train the biofeedback psychologist of Israel at the University of Tel Aviv. And we had 40 people in the room for the day. So we can do different things. But for now, we want to help as much people we can during the war.
And it's gonna be 1 day in Bet Shemesh because
No,
I would
no, I did not say Bet Shemesh.
No, that was me
no, no.
asking the question.
On
so-
Bet Shemesh, we are training people very quick, if need be even online, but we are training, they need to go to the library. We have so much on the library, but we will be treating patients in Bet Shemesh.
Ah,
It will be
okay.
open for people who are pregnant, people who have somebody at the war, people who have a precondition. We have
I get it.
priority people that we will be serving.
Okay.
It's a community service. It's a community service treatment spot.
Okay. So when you decide the time based on what Sarah and I suggested, because I definitely, oh my God, will definitely be interested. Whether I've got capacity, I don't know. I don't know about anybody else at the moment. In the next week, with us getting the hotline open and other courses that we're going to be doing, I don't know, but I'm interested in it. I'm very interested to learn it.
We'll keep in contact, but for first responders and hotline responders, I can help you and I can make a 1 hour course whenever you want.
Well, that will be amazing. So
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
that
And
would
you
answer
can
the
use the
problem.
book, and you should use the book I told you to download,
Yes, I've got.
which is Feel Care. And it's called Feel Care because the patient needs to feel cared.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
the problem of the patient, we have seen that many patients enter the hospital in TV and have some bad relation with the staff, and it's exasperated, it's increased. And we have seen that we can teach them how to not be in TV and how to teach a patient not to be in TV.
I mean, the hospital's a big trigger anyway, because the doctors don't.
And because of the hospital, they have a lot to do at the same time. And many of them at the hospital don't sleep normally because they work at that time and next day at that time. So that does not help to work. And when you don't want to sleep, and when you don't sleep well, you don't function well.
Correct. Absolutely.
Hence, taking some melatonin when you go to bed if you don't have enough hours to sleep. That
Okay.
helps.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time this evening. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I said, I really appreciate your time. I don't know what's wrong with my microphone. Really don't.
Okay. Any question? Anybody?
Thank you very much for your time.
If you have any question, you have my email address, you have my WhatsApp, you have everything. You can ask me. I will be happy to answer each and one of you.
Thank you. Thank
I am
you.
here to help. I have,
Stay
as
safe.
I told you several times today, I have nothing to sell.
Okay. Thank you very much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
Thanks, Gerard.
Everybody stay safe.
Everybody stay safe and everybody look at after the war.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah,
Bye,
a better,
bye.
I wish all of us a better Shabbat than the one we had.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
absolutely.
man.
Yeah, take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, Heidi.